Am I mucking around with the headlights yet again? Yes, I am. I was very interested in being impartial, even though the lights were given to me for free, and maybe I was too impartial. I've had a number of comments suggesting that my review wasn't fair to LEDs because my headlamps appeared to be aimed too high. The comment I received numerous times is that my passenger side headlamp is aimed too high. And it's true, when I look at the video now, it's definitely pointing upwards more than it should. What I'm going to do today is aim my headlights lower and try the LEDs again. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm really over this whole thing. But impartial is impartial. So if my previous review was unfair in any way, I can't leave it at that. I got to give it a chance. I'm working with the garage door closed so I can use the garage wall as a point of reference. Driver side headlamp, passenger side headlamp. Okay, commenters, you weren't wrong. That thing was definitely pointing way the heck up. And I don't know why that is, but it is. I suppose one possible explanation could be that the previous owner started twisting on that bolt, trying to replace the headlight, not knowing what they were doing. I don't know. Okay, fair enough. That headlight was aimed too high. Now, I feel like my headlights are probably appropriately aimed, but they need to go even lower for the LEDs. So how much lower do these need to go in order for the LED lights not to bother oncoming drivers? An inch? 2 inches? I don't know. That sort of bright cutoff line there was here. And on this one, it was actually up here. Now they're the same. No need to comment on how dirty my engine compartment is. I do clean it, but then I go back on dirt roads and it gets dirty again. So it just comes with the territory. All right, 9 o'clock. 3 o'clock, little top shield on the top. All right, they're working. So I've done what you've asked. I've lowered the headlights. We'll check them out. All right, so I've read that to properly aim your headlights, you should be 25 feet from a wall, and where your lights fall should be 2.5 inches lower than the height of the actual headlight itself. Now, I couldn't do that in the garage, obviously, so we're back at our trusty container here. 32.5 inches. Okay, 30 inches. All right, I'm gonna put the bottom of the tape at 30 inches, which is 2.5 inches lower than the height of the headlamps. That cutoff line should be right there. Let's do it. I think we'll call that good. That gives the LEDs the benefit of the doubt because they're a little lower than they're supposed to be. Yeah. Okay. Theoretically, we're properly aimed a little bit lower. Let's see what happens. All right, let's find a little oncoming traffic and see how they feel about it. All right, rear view mirror test again. It's definitely not as bad. It is definitely not as bad. They're a little obnoxious, but it's not as bad as it was the first time. Factory LEDs, replacement LEDs. Factory LEDs, replacement LEDs. Still a difference there. Try a little further away. So yes, the camera is running on the exact same manual settings as the first video. Just like last time, the LEDs are undeniably brighter. That was never really in question. So I did drive around with the LEDs for a couple of nights. Just to sort of get used to them, get used to how they feel, so that I could potentially perceive a difference when I put the halogens back in, see if all of a sudden I feel like I don't see as well as I did with the LEDs. And I gotta say, actually, it's the opposite. Now that the lights are properly aimed, rather than throwing light far down the road like last time, which definitely enhanced my vision, the LEDs are now creating an overbright hot spot immediately in front of the car. The pool of light from the LEDs is uneven compared to the very consistent, even wash of light from the halogens. That bright spot is making it much harder to see further up the road. Even though in the video the street appears lit up more with the LED lights, I can actually see further and much more comfortably with the halogen light. By being a little less intense and more evenly cast, my eyes are actually more receptive to the unlit areas beyond. I definitely see better with the halogen bulbs. Alright, here is our usual street with no streetlights. Alright, here's what I conclude from all of this. Aiming the headlights down as suggested did reduce the glare to oncoming drivers, but also reduced the improvement I had seen by swapping in the LEDs. The halogens unquestionably create a more useful spread of light on the road, whereas these LEDs create a blinding hotspot that actually impairs my vision. This is not necessarily a blanket incrimination of all LED swaps. There are many brands out there, and from what I've read, some brands are better designed to interact with halogen reflectors. Also, the reflectors in your car may respond more favorably than the reflectors in my car. All I can report on is my own experience, which, I'm sorry, it's undeniable. The halogen bulbs work much better in my halogen reflectors than these particular LEDs. Your experience may vary. Numerous commenters reported good results swapping LEDs into projector headlight housings. That's a completely different beast, and it makes perfect sense. That's much more consistent with how factory LEDs are made. Even though I succeeded at reducing the glare by aiming the lights down, I'm still not convinced these LEDs are superior to the halogen bulbs in any way when fitted into a reflector designed around a halogen bulb. They do still glare, they don't light the road evenly, the blue color is, by all accounts, irritating to oncoming drivers regardless of aim, and most importantly, I don't actually see any better with them. I see less well. In terms of my car, LEDs are a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. I could already see just fine with the halogens, and upgraded halogens are available if I'd like to bump it up another notch. So once again, I've removed the LEDs and reinstalled my now properly aimed halogen low beams. If you are running an LED replacement you're happy with, that's great. You do what you want with your car. By the same token, I'm going to go ahead and do what makes sense for my car, which is to keep running the halogens it was designed to use.